Don't be afraid to be you. Whatever it is you think you need to hold back, whatever it is you think is like, not going to be receptive, or I shouldn't do it that way. That's exactly what you need to be doing, is all that stuff that you think you shouldn't do, all the stuff you think you shouldn't say, all the things you think you shouldn't be. That's exactly what you need to be doing, my friends. Get out there, do you, and be you. No one else fucking can. Hello, my friends. Janna here. Thanks for tuning in to Revive with Janna. Today, I want to talk about comparing ourselves. It's time to stop comparing yourself. Why? Comparing yourself, my friends, is not healthy. Now, if you want to compare yourself, I want you to compare yourself to who you were yesterday, to who you were 6 months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Compare yourself to that. That is the only comparison that you are allowed to do. And I find that especially amongst women, comparison is just, it's negative. It has a negative impact, and it takes your focus away from you and what you are doing and trying to do and what your goals are that you're trying to achieve. So why do you do it? I believe the reason that a lot of people compare themselves, especially women, is it's just kind of ingrained in us. You do it growing up. It starts with anyone who was mean to you, the mean girls, the bullies, being a product of your own environment growing up, and whatever it was that you went through that created limiting beliefs. And I say this because I was once that person. Before I shattered my limiting beliefs were invisible chains that held me back in life. And, I suffered from multiple eating disorders, body dysmorphia, and on top of just never feeling good enough, you mix that in with, being a teenage girl and just growing up, going to school in high school. And it happens, and you don't even realize that you have this really bad habit that is holding you back in life. It's not helping you. But here's the other thing of it, because I believe there's always many, many sides that are not looked at. And as a mindset expert, I make sure and I cover all this because it's these little mindset shifts. If I can get my clients to realize this and think this way, that's where the magic happens, my friend. So here it is. The other reason that you compare yourself, or that people compare themselves to other people, is because it keeps them in their safety box. I talk about this in my first book, my #1 bestseller, Unfuck Your Mind. And I talk about that. It's like the comparison syndrome. You are comparing yourself to remind yourself of why you shouldn't be doing something that you want to do. Well, I really want to be a nutritionist. I really want to, talk about gut health, but this person already does it and they do better and they have a bigger following. So what am I going to say that's any better? What am I going to say that they haven't already said? What am I going to say that people will listen to? So I've already told yourself no. You've already defeated your own self, and so you just never do it. And you know what? A lot of that is also called imposter syndrome, and that's kind of what this falls into, right? This category of comparing yourself. But imposter syndrome is, and I've discussed that before, comparison is part of that. But I, in particular, want to just talk about comparing yourself today because I want you to stop doing it. The only fucking person you should compare yourself to is your own damn self. You need to compare yourself to, you know what? How did I handle this last time? How was I a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago? Because that's when you're able to look back on your growth. And if you look back and you're like, you know what? I've been handling this same situation the same my entire life. But where has it gotten me? Am I seeing different results? Am I making progress? Is it helping? Is it still hurting me? Is it holding me back? Ask yourself those questions. And then say, okay, so what do I have to lose if I do it different? What do I have to lose if I act differently, if I react differently, if I try to think about this differently? That's when you're comparing yourself to yourself, comparing your current behavior, your current reactions, your current thought processes to how you used to. That's the only time you compare yourself, is to see your growth or to see where you're stagnant, to see maybe where you need to grow, to see maybe what you need to work on. I say this and I teach this because that's exactly what I did for myself when I was trying to be better, to do better, to shatter my limiting beliefs, to become who I am today. But once you become that, once you become who you were meant to be, once you heal your mindset, you must not stop. You must continue to always do everything you did to grow, to overcome, to heal. You have to continue to do that. And you know, in this industry that I work in, right? In this world that I'm a part of, there's so many great people, but then there's can be some real smoke and mirrors. There can be some real conniving people, fakes, social climbers, and I don't have room for that in my life. I say that because what happens is that there's still these mean girls, right? And it's like, damn, did you not graduate high school? Shit. But they just don't grow up. I was never a mean girl, and I just don't understand it. And I don't like meanness. But I hate when I see a woman compare herself and feel less than. That really, really bothers me. I just want to lift her up and say, honey, you need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and put your big girl panties on, and you need to do you. And whoever falls off the old wagon, whoever doesn't have a seat at your table anymore, it's best it be that way. I'd rather have an empty fucking table than a table full of fakes and takes. That's right, a table full of fakes and takes. Just came up with that, think it's pretty good, but I don't want a table of fakes and takes. I want a table of givers, of believers, of people that receive my love back. That's what I want. And people I don't feel like are comparing themselves to me or that I need to compare myself to. There's nothing wrong with the other person when you're doing the comparison. It's you, my friends. Stop comparing yourself. What are you getting out of it? All you're doing is you're reminding yourself of why your fears are correct, why you should listen to that negative tape playing in your old mind. And let me tell you something, that negative tape is bullshit. It's a lie. You need to stop listening to it. You need to create your own damn tape of affirmations of who the fuck you are, of who you can be, of who you're gonna be, of nothing but positive uplifting. That's what you need to do. You got to stay in your lane. I tell people, I have a lot of women ask me now that I'm starting to grow and be successful. It's how do you do it? What but someone is already doing this and doing that, and like this is what you do. Like how's it gonna work for me? And I'm like, you need to stay in your lane. Put your blinders on like horses wear, and stay in your lane and focus on you, and don't give a fuck what anybody else does. Because then you start comparing yourself, or then you think you need to sound like they do. You need to do what they do. And I did that in the beginning. In the beginning of starting to do social media and being a nutritionist and kind of, making my way into the sector of the mindset world, I realized like I'm comparing myself to these people and I don't even really agree with everything they say. And I feel like I could say it better, and I do based upon my experience. But who's going to listen to me? And they have like their followings like 5 times bigger. You know what I did? I unfollowed those fucking people. I unfollowed anyone where I felt that I don't even really care what they say. And I find myself comparing myself to them. I unfollowed a lot of people. I don't follow many people. If you look at my social media, I do not follow many people. Um, it's just, that's just how I am. I'm not going to follow someone just because I'm going to see them at an event or just because I met them through somebody. I'm going to follow you because I care about you and I want to see what you say, and I care about what you say, and I believe in you. You can follow me, doesn't mean I'm going to follow you back. I'm glad you believe in me. When I believe in you, I will follow you. And that's okay, my friends. You need to stay in your power. You need to do you. You need to stop worrying about whatever the fuck someone else is doing. Let me tell you something. Two people may have the same experience. Two people might be experts on a specific topic, but the way that they perceived it, how they had their experiences, the way they learned it, and the way that they speak and the way they deliver it, it is not the same as any other human in this entire fucking world. I believe I'm the only mindset expert and holistic nutritionist that has my voice because it's not possible for anyone else in this world to have my voice. It is possible for someone else in this world to be a nutritionist, to be a mindset expert, to be a Lyme expert, to understand narcissistic abuse. That right there is 1,000,000% possible. And those people are everywhere, but they don't have my voice. They don't say it the way I say it, and I don't say it the way they say it. I don't have their voice. And you need to remember that. We all have our own footprint, and your footprint is what makes you unique. Your things that make you feel like you're weird or eccentric or just like whatever, that's your gold. That's what makes you you. That's what makes you unique. The longest time I held back on using my voice, I might have talked. If you listen to the first, maybe even 30 episodes of my podcast, I definitely talk about the same stuff, but I don't say it the same. I am much more calm and just kind of like, I say it in a softer way. I'm very careful. And I'm just like, fuck that. When I turned my book and my manuscript into the editor, it's like it just unleashed me. It took the final little invisible cover cloak off of my voice. And it was powerful. And when I started to do that, that's when my social media, my following started to grow. My newsletter, which by the way, if you haven't yet, sign up for my newsletter. Go to my website, revivedbyjanna.com, sign up for my newsletter so you know all the latest and greatest. But anyways, once I started to use my voice, the universe rewarded me, right? You don't think you can hear the universe talk? You sure can, because it shows you, and it shows you immediately. When you listen, when you figure something out, when you learn a lesson, when you move up to the next level, the universe tells you loud and fucking clear. And they're like, yes! And boom, here's your reward. That's exactly what has happened to me time and time again. So don't be afraid to be you. Whatever it is you think you need to hold back, whatever it is you think is like, not going to be receptive, or I shouldn't do it that way. That's exactly what you need to be doing, is all that stuff that you think you shouldn't do, all the stuff you think you shouldn't say, all the things you think you shouldn't be. That's exactly what you need to be doing, my friends. Get out there, do you, and be you. No one else fucking can. I don't really think I could say this any better today. Stop comparing yourself. Who the fuck are you comparing yourself to? You want to be like them? Well, great. There's two of you. Who wants that? Nobody. Do you, be you, my friends. Let me know what you think about this. Love you.